friends. Thanks for joining in. I wanted to talk about business plans today and how they relate to the E-2 visa. So my name is Verdin. I'm the founder and managing attorney at Verdin Law Firm. We're a full-service immigration law firm based in downtown Dallas, Texas. So here's the question that I get. The question is, do I need a business plan for my E-2 visa application? And in short, the general answer is yes. In most cases, we want to submit a business plan. So what I wanted to talk about today are just some of the components of the business plan that will be most critical, and then talk about some procedures and then some exceptions as to when you wouldn't need a business plan. So let's take it from the top. What are some of the components of a business plan when submitting to the government for an E-2 visa? Well, in the business plan, the applicant for the E-2 visa really wants to talk about just taking time to describe the concept of the business. Now, in this case, a lot of the times we are dealing with startup operations. It's a good idea to talk about the main E-2 enterprise that will be operating, but it's also an opportunity to talk about future plans and perhaps describe some future expansion ideas that the investor has for the company. This way we can always point to the possibility of pivoting into new services, new divisions at a later date if necessary. And this will provide some flexibility. In addition, in the business plan, we want to include a detailed description of the profile of the investor. And we want to talk about his or her experience, their education, but also what their role will be in the business. So it's a good idea to break down the duties and the role of the investor, what role he or she will have in the business. And if the person is just applying as an investor, then it's key to highlight in the duties of the investor that he or she will be developing the concept, that he or she will be directing others to accomplish the production of the company product or the production of the service. So we want to place the investor in a position that they are developing and directing the business. And these points are highlighted in the business plan. It's a great time to highlight this requirement that exists in the regulations and in the statutes that the investor must be primarily coming to the U.S. to develop and direct a business. So the business plan is a great opportunity to fulfill that requirement. Now, another component of the E-2 visa and the regulations is to establish that the business is a business that is not marginal, that it has the capacity to generate more than enough business revenue to provide more than just for the investor's family. So in the business plan, it is a great opportunity to make projections into the future, financial projections as to revenue, maybe financial projections as to the net income that is estimated for the business. These are all done through financial projections in the business plan. So these are some of the key components. There are others, but I would say really focus your attention on those items that I just listed. Now, procedurally, the consular offices and the USCIS, they're very, sometimes they have very specific requirements to the business plan. For example, I have seen consular offices request that the business plan be prepared by a CPA, a certified public accountant. In this case, the applicant must retain the services of a CPA, an accountant, and have the CPA certify that he or she has prepared the business plan, but specifically focusing on the financial projections, because that is the core strength of the accountant and analyzing the financials of the business plan. A tip for you that you may or may not know this, but if the consular offices require that the business plan is prepared by a CPA, it does not have to be an American CPA. So if the if the entrepreneur, the investor, has a good relationship with a CPA in his or her foreign country, this is a great way to save some resources and retain the services of a CPA in the home country. That's a tip that our viewers can use. So certainly Verdin has used it with success. So there are times when it's not necessary to include a business plan. For example, for renewals or for extensions of the E-2 visa, you don't necessarily have to spend great resources in providing a business plan. You could provide a short executive summary of future projects, but it's not necessary to spend large resources in presenting and developing a detailed business plan for your renewals or for your extensions. Now, if you're acquiring a franchise, sometimes the franchisor will have a business plan for franchisees, so you could present that in your application. So if you have questions, Verdin welcomes your questions, and we'll be happy to guide you and answer your questions on E-2 visas. Hope you found this helpful.